Hey, how's it going? I'm here at the HM Ranch. You'll see some back issues of HM Magazine there. That's what we've got left that we're still selling for like $3 or $3.95. Whatever the cover price was then, it's still now. Plus postage. Postage each up, but when you buy multiple copies, it's less, of course. Anyway, we're going to talk about a little history on the HM Heaven's Metal Vodcast. All right, so I got some videos I'm going to show you of older covers of Heaven's Metal magazine. Heaven's Metal issue number 24, 1990. And the first color cover of the magazine. It might have been 91. See that? Issue number 84, The Mighty Extol Returneth. Do you remember that album? And that one, that's when it was changed to HM. You know, things change. Back in the 70s, this was the popular New Testament. It was the Living Bible. And if you were a Jesus freak, you put big stickers all over your stuff. Look at it, One Way and God Loves You. And my sister gave me this on my 9th birthday. Wrote to me. That's really cool. Anyway, reach out and look. I really got into highlighting verses I liked. If I really liked something, boy, I would highlight several pages of it. I bet it was 1 Corinthians 15. Wow. Need to go reread that. See why I was so excited about that then. Another blast to the past. The Metal Mardi Gras. Have you seen this? It's on YouTube now. All the bands that were there. Barren Cross, Bloodgood. Right before Barren Cross was going to go on, they came out and said, hey, this is Pastor Bob. This is Pastor Bob. And they said the neighborhood called the police, and they've had a lot of complaints about the noise. This was in the University of California, Long Beach Velodrome, which is a bicycle stadium that had the curved track. And it was going late into the night, and they said it's too loud. And they said, but, you know, what if we have Barren Cross come on, but we turn it down a little bit? And so Barren Cross played a lower volume set than you're probably used to hearing, that Iron Maiden-esque power metal crushing your skull music. But anyway, I had to show you that since I'm here. But one of my contemporaries in the day, Rip Magazine. Man, they were covering metal when it was big and commercial and popular. Look who's in that issue. And they had the ripped, logo. And, oh, look at this. Galactic Cowboys were in this issue with Jackal on the cover. How about that? But see that logo, Rip? I mean, that was full-on metal. That was 80s metal right there in the logo. And look what they did. In 95, things started to change. Hey, that's the year that Heaven's Metal became HM. Look who was on the cover of the last issue of Rip with the old torn, ripped logo. Slayer, they did it right. They were thinking, man, if we're going to change our logo, let's put a metal band nobody can argue about being metal or a poser. And look what they did. But they changed their logo to a chevron. And look who they put on the cover, the Smashing Pumpkins. Look at that logo. So, when Heaven's Metal became HM, we had a logo. We changed our name in 1995. And what's funny is I was at the studio, I was at the offices of Frontline Records, Frontline/Intense, and I made an advertisement in exchange for studio time with their video toaster so I could make the Heaven's Metal video magazines, volumes 2 and 3. So I went in there and actually, here's a copy of volume 2 right here. So I edited volume 3 when I was there, and one of their employees, Michael Sean Black, and Kevin Clay has a song called Call Me Black. You should hear it. See if that's about Michael Sean Black. I'm not going to say anything else. But he came in late at night when I was burning the midnight oil, doing video editing, and he goes, hey, how's it going, blah, blah, blah. You should change the name of your magazine to HM. And I was like, you know, I was doing pretty good at keeping control of my tongue. But when he said that, I was angry. I was like, man, I wanted to cuss at him. You know, like Heaven's Metal is like the perfect name, came from heaven. You know, it's like, you know, I don't claim that, but man, it was like the perfect name for a Christian metal magazine. And to change it, but at that time, entire record labels were dissolving their metal divisions. Radio was dropping their metal format. Record stores were getting rid of their metal collection or shrinking it to like one rack. And magazines weren't covering metal anymore. And so I changed the name to HM, which stood for, you know, Heaven's Metal, or the Hard Music Authority, or the Hard Music Magazine. And anyway, I wasn't the only one. See, a lot of people adapted to the changing times, including RIP magazine. Look at that logo. They even took the chevron off. we took our little oval off a couple years later, like around in the late 90s. Rage Against the Machine. Look at that. Look at that logo. That is like so not metal, man. But that's what was happening, dude. So there's a little visual history for you to show you kind of what I was up against, what I was dealing with, and what the background looked like. You know, metal was changing in '95. I blame some of that on the metal bands that were popular. It seems like they were coasting and they weren't putting stuff out that was really challenging or different. It became formulaic, and people got tired of what they saw and heard, and they wanted something different. And some bands were doing it. Some bands were doing a hybrid. You know, Faith No More was mixing some cool hip-hoppy stuff with their metal and their heavy guitars. And a lot of bands weren't. And so metal died a commercial death. And it went underground, and, you know, metal lives on because it's such a great genre. And the guitar has always dominated the music, whether you called it hard music or metal or alternative rock. You know, bands like Soundgarden were kind of aping Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath, and even King's X, they admit to that. But that's just kind of what was changing at the time, and just wanted to give you a little visual reminder. Didn't want to go on and on and on about it. But, oh yeah, here's Volume 3 of Heaven's Metal Video Magazine. I was editing Mortification Tourniquet and Mortal, I think. No, Mortal? Yeah, the Mortal segment. While I was there late on that weekend, those long nights. This was an interview with Bloodgood where they broke up. I don't know if you remember, but in the late 90s, when was this? 94? Yeah, 94. Bloodgood called it quits. Michael said he felt like God said, "Hey, you crossed the finish line. Where are you going? You're done. Hang it up." And so he did. And that interview where he kind of announced that was on this video magazine. That was a really cool. We sat down, I think, in Casper, Wyoming for that interview. Anyway, so watch the commercial for my book, Rock Stars on God. If you don't have it yet, I think you're going to love it. You got 26 chapters. 24 different artists. There's a couple artists that did 2 interviews, like Brother Kane, and who else did I have 2 interviews with in that issue? I can't remember them all, but watch the commercial. Maybe you will discover the answer there. And join the discussion, make some commentary. Come on, let me hear you.
Rock stars on God, caught in the fire, searching for meaning in a world of desire. They sing of the heavens, they scream of the void. Rock stars on God, where do they belong?
Look at that, still sealed copies of Heaven's Metal Video Magazine Volume 1 on VHS tape. Do you still have a VHS player? Do you? I've got like about 100 of these of Volume 4 and Volume 6. Only got 2 of Volume 1. You know, this came out with 2 different publishers. One came out with Inner Sound and one came out independently. We put it out ourselves. I think this is the one on Intersound because it's got a barcode on it. Somebody recently put the Striper videos. They put Two-Time Woman and Shining Star from the Against the Law album. We have Lady, the edited version of Lady, which doesn't show her body in the shower, and Two-Time Woman, where they pour water on Robert at the end of it. Oh, I gave it away. Spoiler alert. Now you know Robert gets doused with a pitcher of water at the end of the video. Sorry.